Hello everybody, welcome to this video. Today I'll be talking about something super important, that is Form 26QB. If you have recently bought a property, especially one, and it is worth more than 50 lakhs, then this video is useful to you. So I'll start with the basics. First is what is actually a Form 26QB and why is it so important? Well, if you are buying a property worth over 50 lakhs, the Income Tax Act requires that the buyer has to deduct 1% TDS, that is tax deducted at source, from the payment the buyer makes to the seller. So it is the buyer's obligation to deduct TDS and then deposit that amount with the government using this particular form 26QB. Now, I would also state that it is important that in cases where payment are made in installments, then for that particular instance, the TDS must be deducted for each such installment, and then separate Form 26QB has to be filed for each payment made by the buyer. Form 26QB has to be filed within 30 days from the end of the month in which the TDS was deducted. Once the form is filed, the buyer needs to furnish a certificate of deduction to the seller in Form 16B within 15 days from the due date of furnishing the Form 26QB. Now, I'll quickly jump into the live demo. I'll walk you through the step-by-step process of how you can very efficiently file Form 26QB on the income tax portal. So as you can see on the screen, first access this website, incometax.gov.in. As you can see on the screen, it's highlighted. You'll be directed to this page. On the right-hand side, click on login. Enter your credentials, that is your PAN and your password. After logging in, you will be directed to this page. Now, click on e-file. Second head, yes. Go to e-pay tax. On the right-hand side, click on new payment. Scroll down. As you can see, 26QB TDS on sale of property. Proceed with the same. The form 26QB now starts. First, you have to fill in the residential status of the seller. We have clicked on resident. Now, after that, the buyer's details will be auto-populated. Next, coming to this question, whether more than one buyer, I would like to take a pause over here and put emphasis on this question because this creates confusion to a lot of people. Now, what happens when there is more than one buyer? Say you and your spouse, you both are buying a property together. In this case, each buyer, that is you and your spouse, you both have to file separate Form 26QB for each buyer's share of payment. So as you can see on the screen, whether more than one buyer, in our case, it is one. Therefore, I'll click on no. And also, there's a message written, please fill another Form 26QB for co-buyer's share. Therefore, this indicates also the same thing that each buyer has to file a separate Form 26QB. Now we will continue to the next page. Fill in the PAN and address details of the seller. The category, everything will be auto-populated. Continue with the address details. You can see now This question, whether more than one seller, it is similar to the previous one in case of more than one seller, one buyer. Now, the buyer has to deduct TDS payment made to each seller and file another Form 26QB for co-seller's share. And in our case, we have one seller, therefore I'll proceed with no and continue to the next page. You need to fill in the details of the property purchased. Fill in the details for the date of agreement, date of payment, and the total value of consideration. For the date of deduction, the buyer needs to deduct TDS at the prescribed time. That is, at the time of credit of such amount to the account of the seller or at the time of payment of such amount, whichever is earlier. Now, in cases of delay in deducting or depositing taxes, there will be applicable interest charged. Now, you can scroll down, fill in the other details, payment type, stamp duty value, and other all details. Scroll down, punch in the TDS amount. It is 1% of the sale consideration. Now you can click on continue and proceed to the next page. Now we come to the payment page wherein there are 5 heads, 5 modes of payment, and you can accordingly choose the convenient one for you. Hypothetically, let us go with net banking and I click on HDFC Bank. I'll continue. This is the preview page wherein you can preview the details punched in, the seller's details, buyer details, property details, total tax deposited, TDS, everything. If you want to make any changes, you can click on back and the required editing can be made. After the information is final, we'll proceed with payment. Click on pay now. Click on the terms and conditions that I agree to the same. Submit to bank. It will direct you to a new payment page of your respective bank and accordingly you can proceed with making the payment. Now to verify and check whether the payment has been rightly made, click on e-file, go to e-pay tax. Under the 3 heads, as you can see, click on payment history. Here your payment made will be reflected. And under the column action, click on the 3 dots. They'll emerge an option, download. Click on download. That's it. Your Form 26QB is filed. The form will be processed and you will receive an intimation stating that the details are correct. Just remember to keep all your details handy and double check everything. Hope this video helps. Thank you.